Hey guys, how's it going? I know it's been ages since I've recorded a game, I think almost 3 months, but I've been playing a little bit more online recently and decided to spin up a couple of these old decks and had a couple of games actually. I think 2 out of a total of maybe a dozen or so turned out well, and this is definitely one of them. Although, small disclaimer, I think the replay bugs out towards the end, but I think that the game is already pretty much in the bag at that point. Actually see I had to restart the replay so you can see the bug report there. You can see it happening. But anyway, I'm playing Nin, and my opponent is playing the dreaded Narset. This commander, even when it's put into pretty weak shells of a deck, it's still so potent and still so difficult to deal with, and in such good colors that it can still sometimes just run you over, especially if they get a fast draw and you draw a hand without ramp and with only a few counters, or in this case just one. But this is obviously a keepable hand, even though it's got a crappy treachery in there and a mox opal. I still have 3 colors of mana and a dissolve, which I figure should be good enough to at least stop Narset once. Is it Guildgate? Okay. No problem. Mana Crypt. Into Talisman. Alright, well, what I was just saying about fast ramp and not being able to contain it, he's already got 4 on turn 1. So at least I have the ability to dissolve his Narset, assuming he's able to cast it on turn 3. Even with a draw like that, I draw useless Flames on Kavu. We're just going to run out and in the Pain Artist here. Rogue's Passage is kind of interesting. I can see why he's using it, but it's actually quite telling as far as his mana base right now, and makes my Wasteland seem a lot better, because if he's not able to hit Narset mana, well, if he's not able to add extra colored mana to the board right now, I can probably kill Diaz at Guildgate and may be able to stop him from getting out Narset for quite a while, which will give me time to draw more than one counter. But he plays Thran Dynamo, wonderful. And Boros Signet. Hey, ever wonder why this is the best card in EDH? It's because of shit like this. The fact that my opponent can have like 10 mana on turn 2. What does he have? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 mana on turn 2 because of Mana Crypt. Like, he's able to just cast Thran Dynamo so much faster than normal. This would be the turn we'd be playing with first Signet instead of having 9. So he'd have 3 instead of 9 thanks to a 2-mana artifact. This thing is so ridiculous and broken. But obviously they're more interested in banning Prophet of Kruphix because, 5 mana blue-green creatures are just way better than 0 mana Sol Rings. Rest in peace. Alright, good. I'm glad you're playing with junk like that. I mean, I assume maybe he's got Helm of Obedience in there for that. But 1/2 the combo does nothing. Alright. Well, no question, I'm not strip mining here, and I'm not playing Trinket Mage. We're just going to have to counterspell Narset and hope that he cannot counter back. Alright, he doesn't have too many sources of blue, so that's a bonus. Slayer's Stronghold. He could give it haste. Does he have enough mana to do that? Let's see. White, blue, red, white, blue. Yeah, I don't think it works out because I think he needs both. He needs 2 red and 2 white and a blue, and he can't quite make that out of these artifacts, so there's actually no way that he can give his guy haste. Not that it really matters because I'd counter it anyway, but he thinks about it for a long time and eventually discovers that he can't do it. So we're just obviously going to dissolve that. No counter on top, and the relic has to go to the bottom as much as I'd like to have it right now, because we just need another counterspell, considering that he's got 10 mana and can cast this thing 2 more times. And it's such a vicious commander, you're often in a position where you literally cannot let him attack with it one time. It's that good. Sort of like Zur, but costs 6 instead of 4. Alright, we're just going to go get the Mana Crypt, which we did not draw naturally. I'm going to Wasteland that to slow him down. Even though he can still cast Narset again here, and obviously he should. He plays that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I really wonder if he miscounted or something here, or he just intended to cast something else. So instead he casts Mass Calcify to kill my threatening Trinket Mage and my Nin. Alright. Well, it sort of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. I'm very glad he spent the turn playing Mass Calcify instead of recasting his general, though. Just going to replay Nin. My hand is absolutely terrible. Alright, another mana. Elspeth, what the hell? Did he have enough mana to cast this guy and give it haste too? I think he did now. 8, let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he did. He could have cast Narset and given it haste that turn. So ridiculous. Instead, he decided to cast Elspeth, which I don't have a counter for. And so he gets some 1/1s. Thank God it's 3 1/1s instead of that thing. Karn, interesting. So I have a bunch of options with Karn here. The obvious play would seem to be just play Karn and kill Elspeth Sun's champion, but I don't feel that that's really a route to victory, mainly because he's already got 3 1/1s in play, and he can play a hasted Narset next turn, which means Karn just dies to some combination of this stuff. He cascades into a bunch of crap, and I still have to deal with both the general and the tokens. So I need to play a longer game here, and as threatening as Elspeth seems, I feel like it's going to be solved by the same things that solve all this crap as well, which means that I need to constrain his mana somewhat so that he at least can't cast Narset and attack with it with haste, which means that Karn's going to come down. First I'm going to grab a token, because I might as well. And Karn is going to kill off the Dynamo. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely a better play. It prevents Narset from hasting, gives me a turn to draw into something else. I could potentially draw the Rolling Earthquake and kill off both Elspeth and the Narset in one turn, and then have active Karn going. And I fully expect that he's going to send both tokens at Karn, and I'd probably actually I'd let them both through, honestly, and just level up Karn the next turn, because I really want this token as a shooting outlet for Nin the Pain Artist. Because my only chance of winning this game probably is Cyclonic Rift or Rolling Earthquake. Alright, there's Narset, but thanks to the Dynamo being destroyed, he cannot haste, which is great. And he does not attack. I cannot understand that at all. Not that I'm going to complain. Island, okay. Well, now it's a guarantee that Karn's going to die, so I'm just going to kill Elspeth, since he didn't give me one turn of reprieve and didn't actually damage the Karn. Alright, here we go. Pre-combat. He's tapping some mana, and he plays Wear and Tear with Fusing to kill the artifact and the enchantment. I'm so glad he decided to just play this now, instead of, say, in response to me trying to shoot the soldier. Could you imagine if that had happened? He goes attack with everything, I go block Narset with the token, which I would have done, and then in response shoot it, and he goes, okay, in response kill the enchantment. So then it hops over to his side of the board, Nin shoots it for 6, and he draws 6 cards. Thank you, sir, for not seeing that play. It would have been utterly game over. But instead, I get to draw 6, and among it, I get a Force of Will, which is very nice, because it's insurance against Narset nastiness. And he's got to give his Narset unblockability, because, I could block it with a tap Nin. And he's going to brawl me here for, looks like 8. Smash. Okay, let's see what he revealed. Muddle the Mixture, Torpor Orb, Vivid Crag, and Swift Steel Boots. Alright, that looks like 4 blanks to me. Also played a land before he attacked, too. There's only spells. May cast. Okay, so it doesn't do land. Alright, Torpor Orb. Awesome. I can actually play the Flame Tongue Kavu now and use it as a blocker. And Swift Steel Boots. Alright, Grim Monolith. Well, we are far from out of the woods here, because he's going to get another activation off this thing, unless I get some miracle off of Impulse. So let's start with that. I'm going to play Impulse. Fellwar Stone, Scroll, Pact, Island. What do you take here? Well, I'm sure you guys realize it's a no-brainer. Obviously, you take the card that gets Cyclonic Rift, so we're going to just take that. And alternatively, I could Merchant Scroll for Mystical Tutor and use Mystical Tutor to clear all this crap out. But I think Rift is just way stronger, given it bounces all the artifacts. Play an Island. Monolith. I'm just going to play this thing as well. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana available end of turn, which is actually enough mana to Scroll and Rift in the same turn. Ideally, I would like to just untap the Grim Monolith also, so that I have even additional... Oh, and I've got the Opal as well. So I wish I had additional surplus mana. I need to not draw anything of consequence right now. And quite the contrary, long-term plans, which in conjunction with Narset is basically Demonic Tutor for 3. Alright, well, let's see what he got. Take a bunch of damage. And his cards were Propaganda, Temple of Epiphany, Cyclonic Rift, and that. Whew, alright. Alright, so he plays Propaganda, and we don't care about that. And there, so he casts Time Stretch. Now, obviously, I counter this 100%. Now, the question is, tap out to cast Force of Will to do it, which means that I can't untap the Grim Monolith. There's no reason, obviously, to cast Stoic Rebuttal, because even though it only costs 2 mana now, I still don't have quite enough to untap the Grim Monolith. And I could also pitch Force of Will and throw away the Stoic Rebuttal. That would allow me to untap Grim Monolith and use Merchant Scroll into Rift. But that doesn't seem to really make a great deal of sense, because the Stoic Rebuttal is insurance against further shenanigans on the next turn. So with that in mind, after much consideration, I decided to just hardcast Force of Will here. Get the most expensive thing out of my hand. Jace, very nice. Alright, let's play the Bloodstained Mire. Go to the Vents. And we're just going to have to do this right now. And as it turns out, because I drew a land that turn... Wait, did I have... No, I had a land in hand already. Okay, cool. Because Stoic Rebuttal costs 2 mana, now I can actually bounce everything. So suddenly like that, I go from that ridiculous board state to 4 land. And me with an active Nin and a massive, massive mana domination. And I think this is the last turn of the game, of the replay at least. So he plays a Mana Crypt here. And now he's just going to be tapping some junk. But I counterspelled the Mana Crypt. Or, yeah, maybe I let it go. I think I may have actually counterspelled Thran Dynamo. But at this point it was pretty academic. He didn't have the ability to work around all of this mana. I just played Jace, used Jace, and got a counterspell off of that. Counterspelled his general when he tried to replay it on the subsequent turn, and then got a big Nin activation, which got me into Tezzeret, and I was able to just bash him for lethal a couple turns later. But pretty nice little comeback there, I think, against fast Mana Crypt and Mana Ramp. All is not lost when Narset starts to attack you, but at least I was aided by the fact that he plays with quite a bit of junk in his deck. Next game is, I think, actually a stronger deck and much closer. So look forward to that one. See you in a bit.